Bachelor for Life here.
And baby son.
We're going to do a little quick review on the KaBar Fin model 5555.
A survivor knife.
Yep, survival knife. It's a D2 steel.
With a spear point edge.
Yep, spear point. And this is a kydex sheath. Yep, it's definitely a fixed blade. So this knife was actually discontinued. KaBar doesn't make these anymore, but I've wanted one for quite some time. There was an eBay auction, and honestly, the guy took an offer. I was kind of surprised when it showed up. It was pretty grody. There were some schmutz all over on there. You can kind of see it, and then also there's some pretty heavy rusting on the screws. It looks to me that he may have carried it, or at least rode around in the truck or something to kind of cause that paint to rub off, and then it caused that to rust. Overall, though, the blades and the knife's in pretty good shape. I haven't taken it apart yet, but I'm going to, just to make sure that there's no cracks or anything like that. It doesn't look like it's been used as a throwing knife. It's still got a pretty good point on it. The blade itself has never been sharpened, so it's kind of dull. Right here it's a little sharp. Up here it's pretty dull, so I'm going to sharpen that up as well.
You might do it on camera.
I might do it on camera. The serrations on here, they're okay, but I'm kind of partial, I guess, to the Code 4, the cold steel serrations, the way they do theirs. These little teeth here are second to none as far as serrations are concerned. I've never had to sharpen these. I've never broken off. I don't know if you can kind of tell that in the camera, but those things are phenomenal. The other thing I thought was kind of an interesting point to make. I've noticed a lot of serrations like this. The serrations are on, you know, the left side of the knife. This KaBar, the serrations are on the right side of the knife, as far as the side that's ground down. So I just thought that was interesting. If anybody knows why that is, let me know in the comments. Past that,
Oh crap, I dropped the paracord.
that's alright. So past that, the handle is like a fish scale. This feels like kind of a plastic out here, like a rubberized plastic almost. And then this is also kind of a rubberized plastic. It's not a G10 or anything like that. It does feel like a heavy composite. This fixed blade is thick as hell. It's got a nice little glass breaker on the bottom, which looks like it may have been used a little bit, or at least, like I said, banged around in a floorboard of a pickup truck. So I'll give some measurements here. If for some reason you're looking for one of these like I've been, there are a lot of good videos on YouTube about it, which is how I knew about it in the first place, but I figured I'd add it to my collection and do a video on it. So the overall length is just about 10 inches. I think the website says 9 3/4, which it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty close. It's right on the line, and depending on exactly how you measure it, the straight portion of it, just about 3 inches. The serrated portion. Now, as far as thickness, that's kind of where this thing shines, I guess. It's about a ½ inch overall, maybe a little more. Which that's kind of a monster. The jimping up here is really nice. It's real aggressive. It's not. I would say it's kind of sharp and edgy. You know, maybe a little Dremel or something just to kind of round those out, just to make them a little bit wider and a little less aggressive on the ungloved hand. Past that, it fits in the hand real nice. From what I understand, this knife was designed as like a tactical / survival knife. They put the holes here all the way around so you could, you know, put some rope or whatever through it and attach it to a spear. It's also, you know, it's got the coating to keep it from rusting. One of the things I did notice when I got it, some of the serrations had a little bit of rust on them. I also tried to record that, and Apparently it did not record. I forgot to hit the button, so that's kind of a bummer. But you'll kind of notice there is some rusting in here, which I will get out when I take this handle off. Baby son wants me to do a little bit of cutting. You can see some of this stuff coming through, so let's just see how it is. This is my KaBar Fin D2. Let's see where it is right now. Alright, so that was much harder than it should have been. Yeah,
He's legitimately pushing on his own hand to cut that.
Yeah, it's pretty dull there. Yeah, it doesn't even want to cut that. Let's see what it does to this. Okay, well I can get it to go through.
But he has to push really hard.
But I'm pushing extremely hard. This thing's definitely going to need to be sharpened. The serrations for shaving, not too shabby. Those are pretty sharp. They're not terrible anyway. They're not cold steel, but they're not. This is a used knife, obviously, so that one looks like it got a little bit more attention than the other ones. So let's give it a little choppy. Well, the angle of the blade allows it to chop. Let's see some of that foam.
Let's see, will it stab?
Well, the foam, this is what I was telling you. You really gotta, with these, they don't cut quite as well. You gotta really push to kind of get it to go through. The sharp knife just kind of grinds right through this foam.
Plus, some weird reason, they sent a box, like a box that you would get from UPS or Amazon, and it literally was a full-size box with that knife in its little sheath.
Kydex, yep.
Kydex.
Yeah, the box that it was sent was kind of interesting. It was a big box with just a knife in there. There was no wrapping or anything. No fancy letter like the first opening I did a couple weeks back.
You mean last month?
Yeah, last month. What else do we got to cut? We can kind of see what it does. This is going to be kind of my pre-sharpened video. Well, I know it's not going to cut this, but you know what I am interested to see? Mm-hmm. If rubbing on this coax cable, what it does to the blade.
This is a review, not the destruction.
No, but I'm going to sharpen it too, so...
So that's basically sharpening as well?
No, this is dulling it out even worse than it already is. I was just seeing if it would roll. That's some pretty good D2 steel. It's not deforming it at all.
Let's just try
It's
some
dull,
rubber.
so I'll try cutting some rubber. Alright, so you gotta really work at it. This is going to be my proof video for how dull it was before I sharpened it. Using serrations, I kind of got through it. So the serrations are working pretty well.
At least the serrations are cutting right through.
Well, that's good because serrations are extremely hard to sharpen. I do have a Lansky sharpener that I use for tightening them up, but
he likes
God, that's so dull.
He likes can on the end.
I think I'm done cutting with this thing. It is dull as hell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fast forward to some sharpening here, and just see if I can get a good edge put on this thing, and then we'll come back to a nice little cutting video. Baby son, is there anything else you want to say about the KaBar Fin D2 fixed blade?
Well, see, we never tried stabby on the foam. I want to see, will it stab?
That's true. It's sharp enough to do stabby. Yeah, it's stabby. It's a good tip.
I hit wood.
It is a pretty heavy duty tip. There's quite a bit of steel
Well,
behind
let me
that.
knock the wood off.
I can get it to ferrule the
We
wood
had
a
this
little bit.
pair of wood, brother.
Yeah. I got this little guy right here. This is my choppy chop. I guess I should show some of this. You know, the angle of it, it's not sharp enough to cut some of the other stuff, but It's still a good chop, which is, you know, to be completely honest with you, if it was sharp, I bet it would be great. But the fact that it even digs in with how dull it is kind of impressive. Because I mean, like I said, this was designed as a survival / tactical knife, and I really like the grip. The reverse carry feels really good. You can put your thumb up here. My hands are, I think, extra large gloves, so if that kind of gives you an idea. But that does feel really good in the hand.
Another thing, I opened the box with another knife that we haven't reviewed on.
I did. I let baby son open the box.
I was very scared. Knives scare me because they're so easy to cut yourself with. Like, dull knives could easily cut you.
That's true. A dull knife could easily cut you because you're unaware of just what you're doing with it. Sharp knife, you don't have to put as much pressure behind.
It's okay. Here, let me give you a demonstration. This is the dull knife, even though it's a rubber hose. Do do do. Do do do. Oh no.
Oh no. All right. Baby son took off on me, but I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take the KaBar Fin apart, and I'm gonna use my Leatherman Signal and my Leatherman OHT with the bit sets to take this apart. Just to kind of show, probably speed through most of this. I think I will use the Lansky sharpener, mainly because of the serrations. That way I can do everything on one sharpener. If you've ever, I don't know if you've ever used one of these or not, but this guy is pretty slick. You got a nice little area for it. So this thing really isn't that bad. So I'm going to start with like a lower grit. I'm going to show you some of the ones I'm going to use here and what I've got before I speed up. So this is a ceramic stones. Well, that's right before you do your stropping. I've got a strop. These guys are for serrations, and then I've got some heavy like diamond grit and some heavier ones here. Of these three, going left to right, it's kind of your grits. You can kind of see that red one there on the right. It's a little heavier grit, a little finer, and then this is like a sandstone. So I'm probably going to start with the red, just to kind of make sure I've got the right edge that I want. And because the box says 20 degree, I'm going to start at 20 degree and see if it looks like anybody's actually sharpened it before. So I'm going to get this all put together. Alright, so sharpening's done. I put a 20 degree angle back on it, so both sides are the same. I did touch up the serrations just a hair, so that's all sharp again. I'll do some test cutting here. Much easier just to do a push cut. Not that the blade wasn't capable of it before, but I had to put a hell of a lot more pressure, and even a slice cut, much easier. So cuts the paracord fairly easy, and then hopefully you can see the difference here when cutting this. Just lightly touched it and it cuts. I don't have to put a whole lot of pressure on it. Cuts right through the foam. Kind of shave the foam. So much sharper now. I didn't go as far as I probably could have with it. Like I said, I stayed with the 20 degree angle on it. For a survival knife, you really don't want too thin of an angle. 25 probably would be, or a 30 would probably have been preferred. And maybe that's what the last owner was going for, was something a little more of a wider grind. I think I'm going to carry it like this for a while, and just see how long it holds up with a 20 degree, and then I might widen it out and do a convex on it. but I didn't want to adjust it too much right off the bat because I just got it. And I am going to put some paracord on the knife. I think that'll be kind of cool. I picked out some of this green and black and silver stuff. Thought this would be kind of cool just to have kind of a little dangler. So I'll grab a little bit of that and do that. But other than that, as far as shaving the wood, I get a deeper bite now with a sharp blade. Before it was kind of hard just to kind of get in there. I had to really put a lot of pressure in it. But now it's super easy. And this top serration is much sharper than it was. So I can really dig. I got that. Hose, which was another thing that failed. Cuts right through that. Push cutting a hose. Little chop. Much sharper than it was before. I couldn't even cut them on the side. And there she be. Let me know what you think about my new addition, the KaBar Fin D2.